to carry for Tuesday, November 7th, 2017. To order with roll call, please.
Betts.
Here.
Kostler.
Here.
Cavalli.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
McAlpine.
Here.
Weinhammer.
Here.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll now move to the open forum where the public is invited to make an issue-oriented comment on any matter of public concern not otherwise on the agenda. I had two individuals sign in. Martha Ritter. You can come up here. Oh, the next one, the committee meeting? Okay. Mr. Conler?
The name is Kohler.
Oh, it looks like
K-O-H-L-E-R.
Okay. Mr. Kohler.
Last board meeting, the board was discussing video gaming in the village. And I have a great concern about it because I don't see that video gaming in this village is really appropriate or really appropriate anywhere. I mean, it has an impact on people. I don't think that we need to have it to attract people to the establishments here. There's a lot of fine establishments that don't need it. From speaking with people, the video gaming in itself is exactly what they refer to slangily as a one-armed bandit. People get their money taken away, and those are usually people that don't, in fact, they can't afford it. Now, what bothers me the most is a lot of times people think this is some kind of a, well, it's kind of an innocent vice. But here in Cary, we actually had a person rob a bank who came out of one of the establishments here, robbed the bank, and was going back to the establishment to allegedly get the person's money back. Now, I don't know if anyone's heard this story, but I have, and when I heard it, and I heard that you're trying to expand video gaming here, I was a little bit appalled. So, you know, I don't see that it benefits really anybody. If it does, it's primarily the people who are collecting the money that goes into the machines, not the village and not the people of the village. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to address the village board who has not signed in? Last chance. Okay, we'll go ahead and close open forum. Next is mayor's report. I really have nothing to convey, so we'll skip right ahead to our consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items number 1 through 9.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Betts.
Yes.
Kostler.
Yes.
Cavalli.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
McAlpine.
Yes.
Weinhammer.
Yes.
Thank you. The next items for separate action number 1 and 2, we're going to postpone until the end of separate action. So we're going to go ahead moving to the resolution authorizing a public comment policy. I will entertain a motion to approve the resolution authorizing a public comment policy.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, comments?
I'll just give a couple quick updates here, Mayor. We've been discussing the public comment policy here for a few meetings. At our last committee of the whole meeting, there were a couple final changes that the village board recommended. We had altered the first paragraph with striking some language. We also included, instead of a 3-minute time limit, folks now have a 5-minute time limit here to speak. Item number 7, we clarified that language and included sections 2 and 3 to help that make that section read a little easier. And then finally, we added section 11 here where it provides specific information for how the public can comment to village board members. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any other discussion?
Well, I just think that I think it's incumbent upon us to deliver to our residents a policy that they know when they're coming before the board, what the expectations are and what a comment policy would be. Realizing that at some point it may need to be amended, it may need to be changed. Another board may come before us and decide, hey, I want to tweak this or do something a little different, or we may decide that. But I think that one of our roles should be to make sure that we deliver this to our public so that they know what to expect when they're coming before the board. So I'm pleased with the changes we made. You know, could it be better? Yes, but at some point, we live with it and we move on and we deliver to the residents what they need from us as a board, direction.
Anything else? Roll call, please.
Betts,
Yes.
Costler,
No.
Cavalli,
No.
Kraus,
No.
Weinhammer,
No.
McAlpine.
Yes.
Okay, the motion fails. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the October 17, 2017 Village Board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any edits?
There was one here, Mayor, one minor edit that we had that's before the village board here, more or less just a Scribner's error.
Oh, and items for separate action, okay. With the current edit, no other comments, roll call, please.
Betts,
Yes.
Costler,
Yes.
Cavalli,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
McAlpine.
Yes.
Weinhammer.
Yes.
And I will entertain a motion to approve the October 17th, 2017 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Any edits, corrections? Roll call, please.
Betts,
Yes.
Costler,
Yes.
Cavalli,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Weinhammer.
Yes.
Thank you. In the interest of time, Chief, you had something that you wanted to talk to us about. Well, we'll buy a little more time before a petition.
Just so the village board knows, we're just going to be moving the chief's item here from the committee of the whole discussion up to the village board while we wait for the petitioner.
I included in your committee of the whole packet a 6-month synopsis in regards to statistics related to the police department. Some of the things I point out are that domestic calls were down about 33%. I know that we have been using the services of a domestic violence advocate, and we've been taking advantage of a part-time police social worker that's been funded by the McHenry County Public Health, McHenry County Mental Health, I'm sorry. So I can't say that necessarily that is the reason for the decrease, but I'm certain that it helps and that there are available services for individuals that have issues related to domestic violence and any other issues that might be family related. The other thing is, as you can see there, the theft reports were up from 28 during the same period last year to 42. I did a quick analysis of the theft reports that we've taken. 5 of them are bicycles, so 5 were bicycles, and interestingly enough, 4 were landscape materials. 4 of the reports were landscape items, bushes, a clay pot, and a planter. So otherwise, everything is, U.S. currency, things of that nature. So the real issue is our campaign to have people secure their items, secure their vehicles, continues as it relates to these type of items, particularly the bicycles. I think that would help to alleviate issues related to theft. The other thing I included were our Freedom of Information Act requests, and as you can see, they've gone up significantly over the years. Last year, we had a total of 140, and we're only into the end of September, we're at 161. So individuals are requesting more information from the police department, which is a workload that is enjoyed by our record staff. The second to final thing, I guess, but this, I also included some of the initiated activity in terms of a graph, and it's very close to what was experienced in 2016. To some degree, you know, we see an increase during the winter months of our traffic, initiated traffic contacts, and then there are some months that we tend to reduce those traffic contacts, and then they'll go up at the end of the year. It's not because we're looking at issues related to number of citations issued or anything like that. These are just issues that the officers in the field initiate on their own. Same thing with the miles traveled. That you'll see almost is identical to what we enjoyed last year as it related to our police officers driving in the village. And then I think that that's what I wanted to really get from you and the board tonight is, would you prefer something like this where you see it in a 6-month period where you can see trends develop versus monthly where I try to identify trends, but it's hard to see those trends from a 30-day period versus the previous 30-day period? Any input?
I just didn't get the attachment. I don't know. Is this on the village board packet?
Yes.
Okay, so on the village board packet, it says department head updates, and then it stops for,
Oh, I'm sorry, this is in the village, committee of the
Committee of the
whole.
whole.
I didn't see that either in there. Let me,
We changed order.
yeah, but I didn't read it in there either. Kim said she doesn't have it either. So, it's fine.
Anyways, back to your question. I would prefer the 6 month. I think that's just makes more sense.
Yeah, for me, I can see trends develop and I can kind of explore those trends, especially as it relates to like the thefts and burglaries and things of that nature. And we can, you know, dedicate resources to those issues that pop up. The other thing that was interesting to me over the same 6-month period is the traffic crashes were identical, 203 to 203. So it's very hard to change a number that's identical. You know, we know where our high traffic crash areas are, and we dedicate resources to that, but we have limited resources and they're pulled in other directions, such as citizen complaint, resident complaints related to speeding vehicles within neighborhoods, and we dedicate our police officers to those areas as well. So I would entertain any questions or inquiries you would have.
I'm just trying to understand your question. So you're saying, do we prefer a monthly data
Right.
or projected over 6 months?
Right, that's exactly it.
So you're saying that each month we would get this on a 6-month?
No. It would be from October to March for the, or
So
next one.
twice a year,
Yeah,
you would give us an update instead of every month?
Correct, because I used to do it monthly.
I would combine them, and I would do a 6-month projection, the last 6 months,
Oh, and just add the
each
month?
month, and then keep adding the month. That would be me, but
From
That
a
would show
staff,
trends.
from a staff recommendation, I would prefer here that we do it once every 6 months. I mean, it takes time for us to create the report. The chief and other department heads have a lot of other assignments and tasks that they're trying to work on. If you have any questions related to this, we're certainly happy to answer them. But as the chief said, we're trying to get feedback for what the village board wants, what everyone wants to see.
well, and that was my point. That's what I want. So I don't think it's that hard to tack on each month so we can see a trend for the last 6 months. That would be my point.
Okay. And I'll tell you, the reason that this kind of evolved the way it did is the record supervisor was out on an extended leave and things got kind of backed up. So I was able to put something together, and I figured I'd try to present it in a format that was, instead of having just numbers, maybe graphs and things of that nature to kind of explain or illustrate the activity and things that are occurring. And like I said, the theft increase kind of jumps out, as does, for a positive trend, the domestic disputes that we've gone to.
I apologize, it is here. Normally when we get this, there's nothing after department head updates, so my apologies.
Are there any other comments?
6 months is fine.
Okay.
And I'm fine with 6 months. I think that looking at a trend, it is a 6 month is much easier to analyze. And I think if something comes up that you feel like is pertinent, that's become an issue, that's something you feel like you need to bring to us relevant, then of course you're going to bring it to us at a meeting and share that with us.
Okay.
Anything down here?
6 months is fine with me.
I'm fine with that too.
6 months it is.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Just in time. We ready to go with our petitioner? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve an ordinance issuing a Class J liquor license to PBRH Carry LLC, doing business as Lucky Bernie's, located at 724 Northwest Highway, Cary, Illinois.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Hey, Brian.
Thank you, Mayor, Village Board. Request this evening is related to a new business that's looking to locate within the Cary Square Shopping Center. It's the Annex property, which is located just to the west of the Jewel Osco retail space. Lucky Bernie's is seeking approval for 2 items this evening. Both are related to their proposed restaurant location. One is a liquor license for the Class J license. They're looking to have sales for consumption both on and off the premises, which would allow for the retail sale of bottles of wine for individuals that frequent their facility to take those home with them as well. With that, they're again requiring the Class J license, which allows for consumption both on and off the premises. Currently, there are 2 businesses which are operating in the Village of Cary that have similar licenses. Both Kojak's and Orchard Prime are currently in operation. The village actually earlier this evening approved a similar license for JC's Cafe. And then Bella's Bistro earlier summer received approval for a license as well, but has not yet started operations to pick up that license. So in total, we've approved 4 existing licenses. This would be the 5th license of Class J type. Per license requirements, they're required to meet the village's insurance and other requirements for holding a liquor license, and staff is recommending approval of the request this evening for the Class J license. If you'd like, I can go into more detail on the gaming request as well, but that's the next item on the agenda.
Let's go through the liquor license here first. Any questions or discussion on this? None? Roll call, please.
Betts,
Yes?
Costler,
Yes.
Cavelli,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Weinhammer.
Yes.
Thank you. And I will entertain a motion to approve a video gaming license for PBRH Cary LLC, doing business as Lucky Bernie's, located at 724 Northwest Highway, Cary, Illinois.
So moved.
Second.
Again, this request is related to the business. They're seeking approval for a gaming license associated with the business. They're seeking approval for 5 gaming machines. Currently, the village has 9 other establishments that have been approved for gaming licenses. Of those facilities, they're all within a Class A, I, or J liquor licenses, which this one the board recently just approved. Otherwise, the proposed use will comply with the village's regulations for gaming. This slide shows the location of the proposed facility. Again, it's in the corner of the Cary Square Shopping Center. We'll have approximately 48 seats for customers within the establishment, within the bar area, and then also tables in the tenant space, with a gaming room that's situated in the rear of the space for 5 machines. Based off the floor plan, The gaming room will account for roughly 1/5 of the square footage of the space, and the remaining portion would be for the restaurant use associated with the business. The 48 seats is close to the village's 10 seats per game requirement the board just approved. And like also with the nature of the business, they will have a mixture of food and alcohol sales, which would combine to be about 80% of the establishment's revenue, with gaming being about 20% of that information. This slide shows 3 other locations that are operated by the business locally. There's a location in Huntley, Woodstock, and Spring Grove. And these are obtained from their website, so you can see kind of an idea of the decor of the establishment as far as how the seating areas would be arranged. Petitioner is also here this evening. You can provide additional information as far as the business and the requests that they have for licensing this evening, which I'll be able to invite Brian up here to provide additional information on his business unless you have any questions for myself.
Sure. Brian, you want to come up and join us, please? If you could just state your name and address for our records, please.
Yes, Brian Sturbins, 26052 West Randish Court. That's in Ingleside, Ingleside, 60041.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
I do. I have a couple questions. I did go out to your location in Woodstock. I want to compliment you. I think it's very nicely done. A very nice build out. Looked high quality to me. I even had a sandwich that was delicious. My question is, when you're setting this up, one of the things I really liked about it, I love that ceiling, so I'm just kind of curious material-wise if you have any idea what you would be using when you're going to do the build out here.
Actually, we have 4 stores that are open right now and another 9 that are going to be built out in the next 6 months. All of them, we are going to brand the same.
Okay.
All of our stores currently, minus our Fox Lake store that we just opened up, has the copper ceiling.
Nice.
We have a green tin roof and tin ceiling in Fox Lake, but all of our stores will follow the same aesthetic across the board.
Okay. The other thing that I liked a lot was that, and I definitely heard your concerns about gaming. I understand that, but one of the things that I liked the way that you separated it. If you walk in there, you had no clue that there's gaming going on. You just didn't. I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. You have to seek it out. So it's not something that's smack dab in there that you're walking into. I've walked into a few other places just to check them out. And not saying anything bad about another establishment, but that was definitely a gaming. And I did not get that feel from there at all. I love the way that you separated with the wall with like the water features, and then you could kind of like peek through there. This is a big space back here to me that you're using for gaming. So are you going to, obviously you're not going to see that as you come in at all. It's at a wall, and then you'd have to kind of go through and back to get to it.
It will be separated, as you can see from the layout itself. It's kind of a weird space. The space is over 2,000 square feet, I believe. And what we like to do, we're not a gaming cafe company. We're family owned. We've done this all ourselves. I single-handedly design all of our stores. And what we want to do and what we want to accomplish is to allow our lunch and dinner crowd to enjoy themselves without being bothered, like you said, by the video gaming terminals. Now, on the flip side, each store we do dump a substantial amount of money into each store. So when we do go into each village or municipality or city, we do request, like we have here, a retail license. We have multiple revenue drives within the business itself. We sell meats and cheeses by the pound. We sell the hearty sandwiches, as you said you've tried, deli salads, pasta salads, charcuterie board, meats and cheeses, and then obviously the wines there on premise to go, and then the video gaming. So if one day our gaming doesn't do good. Maybe our wine, retail wines do above average. Maybe when our glasses are on-premise pouring doesn't do well, maybe our sandwiches do a little bit better. So what we have come up with is a concept to be able to protect our overall investment, and we've done it aesthetically appeasing.
So I see that sometimes you have some local breweries that you are bringing into, so when our wonderful Cary Ale House starts doing their own brew, you'd be able to maybe bring them in and support a local business too.
Absolutely. We just had an event in Huntley for, we had a beer tasting with Crystal Lake Brewery. So we were all about getting involved. First thing we'll be doing is joining the chamber and getting involved with the community.
Great, well, that answers my questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I have a couple things I've heard through some of my surrounding communities, my counterparts had said that you do a nice job, you're good to work with on that, so that's good. Just moments ago, we passed an ordinance that stated, I know 48 is close, but no cigar. Can you turn one of these 4-tops into a 6-top?
Absolutely. Actually made my hair stand up when he said that. So I was trying
And I don't want to just
count
trip
really
over
fast.
ourselves,
Yes.
moments after we pass an ordinance, what I think is a pretty solid ordinance.
I'll make sure that is, when we do occupancy, then the occupancy inspection will have all 50 chairs there.
Any other comments? Discussion? Roll call.
I feel the same way that Mr. Kohler had, talked about with the video gaming and things like that. However, I had talked to Trustee Betts prior to the meeting. I know she had gone and visited this location as well, and she had a lot of compliments to say, about you as well. She said that she did have sandwich there as well, and she didn't even realize, like Trustee McAlpine said, that the gaming was there. It was, hard to see, and she didn't really hear it. And so for me, the other thing that was important for me is that you said in your other locations, it's only a 20% revenue from gaming.
Absolutely.
So you have history that shows, from your other locations that gaming is not your prime source of revenue.
Yes. For Woodstock and most of all of our locations are against the pseudo gaming cafes concept. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Woodstock and the moratorium that Mayor Sager has implemented. Very, very tough to get in there, as well as Antioch and Spring Grove. And all three of those cities, municipalities, villages have instilled a mandatory food requirement of at least 60%. We do report, and as I explained to Brian, that we're a restaurant first, foremost. We don't have any problem providing POS reports semi-annually, annually, to be able to prove that. We do it every year with Woodstock. It's contingent upon the renewal. So I'm very confident with what we've come up with, and we're all proud of it. So.
Anything else?
I just want to say, as Trustee Weinhammer had said, I did come to go to try out your store, and I really did like your dry erase
That's very cool.
menu. You get a dry erase board with their menu, and you check off what you want to eat, and then you hand it back to the waitress. I really like that. Just the ambiance of just walking in there, like Trustee McAlpine had said, is that you don't see the gambling or the gaming at all. I had a good experience this summer there, and yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Roll call, please.
Kraus,
Yes.
Weinhammer,
Yes.
Osler,
No.
Cavelli,
Yes.
Betts,
Yes.
McAlpine.
Yes.
Thank you. Welcome to the Village of Cary.
you
Looking
very
forward to
much.
your grand opening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Brian will tell you about the next steps. Administrator's report.
Mayor, Village Board, we continue to work with Patrick Taylor, the developer who's interested in the Maplewood property. I hope to be able to announce when our next meeting is going to be by the end of this week. So once we have that firmed up, we'll get that out on our website and in the Cary News Weekly.
That's it?
That's all I got.
Okay. Chief, we've heard from you. Anything else? How about Eric?
Just one quick thing. Tomorrow, the McHenry County is hosting a water forum at McHenry County College. So the public's been invited, and as a member of the Stormwater Commission, I'll be attending as well. It's just an event dedicated to promote and educate the public on groundwater resources and groundwater supply. So if anybody's interested in attending, feel free to join us at MCC at, I believe it starts at 5:30 p.m. Thanks.
Thank you. Brian? Any future agenda items and discussion by the village board?
Can I just ask a quick update? So I got the stats finally pulled up. Chief, with regards to the domestic battery, seeing in 2018 a total of, I'm sorry, 2017 a total of 18, and in 2016 the same time a total of 17. So I'm just looking for the decrease that you were talking about.
Okay, if you're looking, I was talking about domestic calls. Up on top, there's
Oh.
51 to 75.
Okay, I was
But,
looking at the domestic
yeah,
batteries.
Right, the domestic battery arrests
Yeah.
are almost substantially similar. But the calls that we go on that don't result in arrest have decreased. And again, it's hard to determine if, the addition of a domestic violence advocate or the police social worker is the reason for it, but certainly it doesn't hurt.
Anything else? I just have a couple comments. This week, or last week, I attended an opioid forum that was put on by the township that was organized by their trustee, Rachel Lawrence. Did an outstanding job. She was, it was eye-opening, absolutely eye-opening about the epidemic that we're facing in our region. But on that note, I got a call from the Lieutenant Governor's office asking if we could have Pat Finland participate in a panel next week in front of some of the state legislators and that, and he has gracefully accepted that and they said that he's renowned in his I guess, his astuteness to this, and I'm delighted that, the chief is being seeked out for things like this, sought out, I guess I should say. Who teached me that grammar? Sought out after this. So thank you for participating in that. I can't wait to hear more about it. I think we're going to start hearing more and more about it because it's a real thing that's going on in our community right now. And it was eye-opening. I was mesmerized by the statistics, and it was put on by the coroner and the state's attorney, and they had some just fascinating speakers on it. So again, thank you for stepping up and representing the village of Cary, Chief. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.